Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I'm Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about movies, music, and any other interesting topics. Today's episode is going to be about the new album by Fall Out Boy called Mania. Now, I know this shit came out in January and we hella late, but we had a lot on our schedule. Let's put it that way. And so I think this is their first album, I want to say in a couple years, but not too long. Like, they've had an album and like I don't know if you guys maybe Michael remembers the song Centuries by them.
Yeah, I actually do remember that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
was everywhere for a minute.
that was from their last album. And that song's not that old, so I guess this is a follow up to it. So, the album's called Mania, and I'm gonna give this. I think this is a solid album. So I'm gonna give this B plus A minus range. Here's what I like about it: the guitars and the drums, the instrumentals, the beat and everything was really good. The lead singer's voice was amazing on all the tracks, and he sounded different on a lot of them. Excuse me. It wasn't always a repeat of the same shit, and I really did like that. He had like some high notes on some of the songs, which I'll mention which ones, and I really even the soul songs I was really getting into. So I really enjoyed this album. Now, is this my favorite Fall Out Boy album? No. But I still think it's a really good album. Michael, what do you grade this album?
I'm gonna go ahead and give this a B plus as well. Um, this is gonna be another one of those things where I'm on the outside looking in because I've never been through an entire Fall Out Boy album. Wait, we haven't done one for a while for this podcast, have we?
No, they didn't have any
It
new
was
music, I think.
right. That's what I was thinking. Okay, I'm gonna think of somebody else. But yeah, I'm on the outside looking in because I've never gone through an entire Fall Out Boy album. However, I am used to like the kind of range that they kind of do for their songs. Like they're a pretty familiar sound on all their songs. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And this is kind of one of those things called the ones that I'm familiar with. This resonates a lot with what I already know. Minus the couple of slow songs in the album, but they're actually pretty good as well. I found myself enjoying them a lot. No particular song that I didn't enjoy. Just I feel like it was pretty solid for me. One of those things I don't exactly go out of my way for to look for, but now that I did, I'm kind of glad I did. It's okay.
Stop stealing my catchphrase.
It's not your catchphrase. I don't see no patents on it.
You ain't got no patents either, and I'm just sitting here. So remember that.
That's fine. I don't tell you have to steal it.
I will steal it and say I started it. Okay. Anyway,
Tell me how that works out for you.
it will actually, because no one know you, so it worked out really well. So anyway,
I'm on this podcast. Of course they know me now. If they don't know me, they don't know you either.
hey, I'm the moderator. No, I'm playing. No,
She had nothing for that one, guys.
I'm talking about in real life, not on the podcast. If I use it in real life, they don't
Wow,
know.
that's even more shady. Wow, Shanique. Anyway, fine. Moving on then. Shady McShadesville over here, throwing trees.
Hey, it be like that sometimes. My number 3 is The Last of the Real One. I love the beat, the guitar. I like the little echo thing they did during the song. It had very strong verses. This chorus is very catchy. It's actually probably one of, if not the best part of the song. And I really enjoyed this song. What do you think of The Last of the Real One, unless, top 3?
It's in my top three.
Okay. Is it
But
your
my
number
number
3?
three, no, my number three. However, if it was my number three, I just told you.
Hey,
My number three though is "Hold Me Tight" or "Don't."
you didn't say the
Found.
title right. It's all
I'm
caps,
confused.
man. Emphasize. Emphasize.
Nigga, hold me tight or don't. Listen, I'm not going to change my volume for the uppercase in any song name. Okay. I am in my house right now. I don't got time to be screaming no song names out of the top of my lungs like Shanique wants me to. Trying to get me
Hold
caught
me
up over here.
tight.
Anyways, since Shanique's gonna tell you guys how to say it, Hope Me Title Don't, pretty good song. I found it catchy as I don't know what. I thought it was pretty cool. It's one of those things where it's like, hey, you either in this or not, and we're gonna write a song about it. And they made it sound pretty good. I don't know. I feel like the translation of that little message that they were going for went pretty well with the song, and their sound made it sound even better. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, I like the beat of that song. It had a Caribbean feel in the background, which I thought that was pretty cool. It was a fun song, and it's very danceable. Like you could dance to this song, and to me, it's very it's easy to play on the radio. So I agree. That was a really good song. My number two is Church. Um, and it depends on how you read the lyrics, but he's comparing a woman to the church. And he talks about falling on his knees, confessing his sins. I like the choir that they used for it, which I thought was really dope. Very interesting metaphor for his girl, but hey, whatever. I love his vocals, his high notes, and I was thinking, I was like, yo, this song would be actually hard to sing. Like, this is not a karaoke song unless you have a good enough strong pipes for it. I would not sing this at karaoke at all. But it's to me, it's probably one of the best vocal performances that they had on this album. What do you think of Church? Unless
It's not on my top three. However, I will say that I had to, after the first time the chorus ran through, I had to like open my eyes up a little bit and think to myself, maybe I should listen a little bit more carefully because all I'm catching is a whole bunch of innuendos, and that's a little bad for a song named Church. So I have to peel my ears a little bit and be like, okay, all right, it's not as bad as I think it is, but I can see how the message can get construed to someone who isn't really paying attention to the song. They'll only hear probably some part that sounds a little suggestive, and once you get past all that, the song actually sounds pretty damn good. And I don't know. I think this is a part of the album where like things were a little interesting with the song naming. Like it went from like church to heaven's gate, and I was like, that's a pretty neat little thing that they did there. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. What's your number two?
My number two is actually your number three, and,
Hey.
and this is actually a very close contender for my number one actually because it's actually something I probably will come back to this album for. But one, first of all, song name is epic. Like it's the last of the real ones. Like for real, yo. If you take that's one of the illest compliments you can give someone. Like yo, you the last of the real ones, yo. You're a dying breed. Like I'm like yo, that's legit. And it's a catchy ass chorus. Probably my favorite part of the song is the chorus. Last of the real ones.
Hey,
Um,
got the pipes.
I can see this playing on the radio as well. To be honest, like this is probably one of their what I hope for is one of their biggest sellers for this album because this is kind of one of my biggest sellers here.
I think their lead single was Champion, but I don't know what the second single was.
Oh, cool! It's my number one.
Hey,
I,
well, Mr. Brown.
just give me a second here. Let me re-look this over real quick. Hold up. I don't know. Wilson?
Oh no. Stay Frosty Royal Milk Tea.
I have zero idea about this song title. First of all, I don't.
I
Go ahead.
know.
Go ahead with your review. I have. Mm,
Okay, so Stay Frosty Royal Milk Tea is the first song off the album. Now, Fall Out Boy is famous for picking long song titles that have nothing to do with the song itself. If you actually read some of their song titles, you're like, what the fuck is this? That doesn't make sense. But all right, one, it came in hard. Like it was a very good way to start the album. I love the intense guitar on there. The vocals were on point. The chorus was really good. Like Michael said, don't know why it's called this. I don't even know what it means metaphorically. And I love how the song even closed. For me, start to finish, this song was the perfect song on this album. Number one for sure. What do you think of Stay Frosty Royal Milk Tea?
I mean, I'm not super sold by the title, but as you say, they apparently have this as a thing where it's like they do random words in their song names. Not super familiar with that, but I'll take your word for it. I thought it was a very interesting sound for the album, and I think it's also a very good intro to the album because it's not one of the things that set the bar crazy high for the album, but it kind of like just maintains a pretty good standard for the rest of what follows it. The sound was pretty good. It's pretty unique. The only other song I thought was like really out there as far as sound goes. And my phone is closed off. As far as sound goes, was I think it was Heaven's Gate, but like I don't know. This one had a pretty good sound. It's also pretty catchy like tune that they were going for with the rock. So you know what? No complaints with this one.
All right. Talk about your champion.
Oh yeah, Champion. Pretty damn good song. Probably the catchiest one to me. Pacing was pretty good, and like I said, I do like the fact that the I'm not gonna say that it really matches with the theme of like what they're going for with Church and Heaven's Gate, but it was kind of in that area, and I was like, hey, this is kind of a cool little thing that they got going on here. Like, sure, they might have some really weird, random song names, but they're pretty good at having like small pockets of thematic names in their albums as well, or at least for the very most, for as far as I know, this album anyway. So the song I figured was the catchiest to me. And like I said, there was a contender for this spot right here, which was Less of the Real Ones. And like, they're two definitely different sounding songs, but this one just slightly edged it out. So yeah, this is my number one.
All right. Yeah, Champion I thought was a very good song. For me, I thought the second half was better than the first, but I still overall enjoyed the song. So I guess we should talk about Wilson. Expensive Mistakes. One, I like the voice modulation that he did on the record. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, the song actually to me got better, and I eventually liked it more as the song went on. The chorus was really good, and I thought it was overall a really fun song. What do you think of Wilson? Expensive Mistakes.
That's actually the word I was going to use to describe this too. I feel like they were having a lot of fun with the song. I can always kind of tell with it by like their pacing and like you just kind of feel a lot of their vibe coming out of the headphone. I'm saying headphones because I use headphones. But, like I feel like a lot of the vibe coming through the headphones when I was listening to the song, and I was like, I still don't know what the song name means really, but you know what? I'm slowly starting to get over this, and actually just listen to the song. So if anyone here listen to the song, you'll see what I'm saying here. No idea if they're like trying to form a story around someone named Wilson and their expensive mistakes, but it's a pretty good song.
Don't overthink the titles. Don't overthink the titles.
I know. I'm starting to slowly learn that now. I'm catching up.
All right. Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was a really powerful song. It was a good transition from Church. The vocals were really good on this record. The chorus, and to me, it had a very rocker sound. Like to me, like Fall Out Boy has a rock sound, but it's like a lot of pop influence, sometimes R&B influence. But this one to me was like very strong rocker sound, um, powerful lyrics, powerful voice. They really did their thing on there, and it was a close contender for my top three. What do you think of Heaven's Gate?
Heaven's Gate was pretty good too. I agree that the needle kind of aimed towards a lot more rock than anything else, and that's fine because obviously it's Fall Out Boy, so I couldn't really argue with that. Um, I feel like they put a lot of effort into this area of the album right here because like I said, it went with the theme, like a certain little theme going on. Not sure what it has to do with Mania, but it has its own little theme within the theme, I suppose. Because like Sheen said, I'm not going to overthink any naming conventions here from Fall Out Boy. So I thought that was pretty cool. The song sounded pretty good all the way through. I feel like I, like they're definitely going this little gospel vibe that was like slightly reaching out from both of the Church and this song right here. Like Church obviously was like about being on your knees and praying. Granted, the suggestive way that they were just putting the message out there, and then Heaven's Gate, which was like more. It wasn't so on the nose as far as like innuendo or something like that. So it was definitely a pretty good follow up to Church.
guess I definitely agree with you on that. You threw me off when you said falling on your knees and praying. I'm like, did we listen to the same song?
Yeah, it's you said it yourself when you talked about it, talking about the girl praying.
No, he said he's falling on his knees in front of her though.
Oh,
She's
okay.
the church. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. Listen. I took a while to even get the actual right interpretation of the song, only because I heard falling on something about being on your knees, and like
See, his
that
mind went
part got
dirty.
exaggerated in this. That part, no, that part for me at least, songs after interpretation, and that part got like very exaggerated in the song, and I was like, is that what the song's about, or is there actually like a message about church here? Because I don't want to think a church song is dirty. That's going to pretty much secure me a pretty, a pretty locked down spot in hell if I go ahead and say, oh, this church song is about X, Y, and Z. I ain't gonna say nothing out loud because then I know I'm going to hell. But
Well,
whatever.
it's not like I looked up the lyrics, right? And it says, "If you were church, I'll get on my knees, confess my love. I know where to be. My sanctuary, you're holy to me. If you were church, I'll get on my knees. I'll get on my knees. I get on my knees." He's talking about a woman.
Okay.
Like, I don't think it's dirty. I think it's
Shanique, I didn't say that.
no.
I
I'm
said
just
it.
saying. I did not saying you said that. So don't act guilty. I'm just saying that
All
it's
right.
a weird. I still think it's a weird metaphor because I don't know. As a woman, I don't know if I want to be compared to a church. Like, like if I said, "Oh, you're my church," I'll get on my knees. Would you find that attractive or flattering?
I don't know.
See, right? That's what I was just saying. It's just kind of like I don't know if you would. Look, my suggestion is don't say that to someone unless you're into that. I guess I don't know. It's a weird. It's a weird compliment, and like I don't know how I feel about it. But she doing something right. Like if she's compared to like the house of God, you must be doing something right. Michael's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
He like, I don't know if I'll find that. Imagine a woman be like, "You're my church, Michael." That would freak you out. I feel like.
I don't know. I don't have a response to this.
Stumped him. Stumped him. All right. Next one is Sunshine Riptide featuring Burna Boy. Now, what was Burna Boy's part? Do you know?
I mean, we spoke about this before. It might be one of them things like they're, helping produce something like that and they want the name on it. So I'm assuming that they weren't actually there vocally. Cause I'm pretty sure all the way through was 100% Fall Out Boy that we heard.
Yeah, but getting back to it. This is another track that's very danceable. It has a fun chorus. It's a fun song in general. Very good beat. It's catchy as hell. And I was like jamming to it. I really enjoy Sunshine Riptide. It's not my favorite on the album, but I still think it's something worth listening to. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is one of those ambient kind of songs you play to like get some kind of groove going. Cause it's kind of weird that this even went in this kind of direction. Cause all the other songs like good standalone songs for like general purpose listening to, and this was kind of one where it's like it almost has a party esque kind of vibe to it. Because the way I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Like I don't know if it's auto tune that they were using at one point. Like a part of it got like a little repetitive, but like catchy at the same time. Unlike all the other songs on the album, but like it gave me a different vibe from the rest of the album. I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. I liked it the least, but I like it for its own different reasons, separate from the album. Because everything else in the album, you know, had its own like way of transitioning into each other. This is the only one which I find is like the odd one out. But it's in a good way. I feel like it's probably one of the more unique ones that were meant for like a certain kind of setting, pretty much.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Next one, Young and Menace. This one was different. It caught me off guard because I didn't. When I read the title and then I heard the song, I was like, "What? What's happening here?" But I liked it. I thought it was very creative. It was decent, and it's weird. They used the chorus as part of the beat, which I thought that was a really cool thing to do. And It's a very interesting, I guess, arrangement for the song that caught my attention. Not really the song itself. What do you think of Young and Menace?
I thought Young and Menace was fine. I didn't really have any problem with the song. I do think it was one of those interesting ones where like they went to in an interesting like production direction as far as the sound went. 'Cause like you said before, with the chorus being part of the song, I was like, oh, the actual like background beat. I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're gonna keep it going throughout the whole song. I mean, it's not the whole song, but pretty big chunk of it. Definitely the vast majority. And it didn't bother me. It ended up actually going like when things get repetitive in my head, it can either be one or two things. It can either be catchy or it can be annoying. This for certain was not annoying. This was definitely on the catchy end, and that's kind of where I'm at with Young Menace.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking, I was like, what's a good example of what I'm trying to say? A Millie with Lil Wayne.
I like the Millie.
Yeah, I'm just saying it. The chorus is the beat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's a perfect
Version of like
example.
if it was annoying. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
it's not annoying, but it's part of the beat, and it works because of that. And let's be honest, that song had like thousands and thousands of remixes.
Oh yeah, it got remixed to death.
Some were good, some should have never done it. But,
Real G's moving silence like lasagna. I don't know why the line like stuck out to me in that song. I was like, what? I don't get it. Oh, because G is silent. And I was like, okay. Anyways, random tangent aside, let's move on.
I don't know what to say.
It's not meant for anything to be said, but one thing we gotta say now is Bishops and Knives. Bishop and Knife?
No,
What's the name of the
Bishop's
song?
Knife Trick.
Okay, I wrote that down wrong.
I could have wrote it down.
This makes a lot more sense. Well, I mean, not a lot more sense, but more sense what I was going with. I'm like, Bishops and Knives? This is a weird religious thing going on with this album. But it's still weird now. This doesn't really help the case.
Bishop's Knife Trick. I don't know why it's
Uh-huh.
called that. From the lyrics, I don't know why it's called that. But I actually thought it was a really good closer for the album. I love the high notes that he hit during the song and during the chorus, and it was a weird mix between intense and like slow, if that makes sense. Like it had like he was singing really strongly and then it got real slow. And I looked up the lyrics and I don't understand it even more. So moving on. What do you think of Bishop's Knife Trick?
Okay, so granted, my song title was wrong. It doesn't make too much sense to me, but I thought it was a pretty good song. I definitely like the change of pace that they went for with the song. I think it's one of maybe like two slower songs on the album. I think he did a pretty good job with the pacing that they were trying to work with on the song that they ended up with for the final product. I'm not super used to Fall Out Boy's slower paced songs, but if it's along the lines of this, then that's probably something I can get in line with. They definitely tried to do the thing. I forgot which album it was. Whatever. I'm not gonna go bother with it then. But yeah, they definitely try to do this thing where it's like the song goes up and then all the way down, like Shanique said. Like you're going, have some pretty good singing. Then you're gonna let the guitars do like a lot of the really like punchy ass hard sounds. And I was like, okay, it's like Fall Out Boy, slow down, then back to Fall Out Boy. And I was like, okay, you know what? It's a weird little transition that they did for like a good 4 minutes for that song that will end up working in their favor. And I can't argue with it. I'm just glad I got to be exposed to their pace when they decide to slow it down. Now I know that their range definitely encompasses this.
Yeah, and my suggestion for anyone is to listen to the other ones. It's their last album was 3 years ago. I say check it out. It's American Beauty, American Psycho. It has nothing to do with anything on that album though. Just putting it out there. They just picked. I don't even know why the album's called Mania. I think it has something to do with like them as a band, not really the theme of the album. I'm assuming. I don't know. I am not Fall Out Boy, so I can't answer that really. But overall, here's my thing. I think this album is worth buying. If you are a Fall Out Boy fan, I think you enjoy the album and you should buy it. If you're new to Fall Out Boy, I still say buy it. Maybe stream it first and then buy it because, if you've never heard a album or a song by them, you might want to listen to it first. Um, I like every song on the album, and I have no complaints. I thought they did a really good job. I thought this was a really good follow up to their American Beauty, American Psycho album, and I thought that the lead vocalist Patrick, the best he ever sound, and I hope they continue to do more work. What do you think of this?
Pretty solid album. Um, Obviously, Fall Out Boy is kind of a household name at this point. So if you even know their name, you may as well go through the album because they've done, even granted I'm only hearing radio hits and TV hits and whatever came on MTV like a while back, but like they were a pretty consistent group. All their songs were always good that you always heard of. I've never been to an entire album, but if it's anything along the quality of what they had back in the day, or even of quality of this album, I definitely recommend going through the other albums as well. But yeah, definitely give this one a check.
So, do you recommend buy or stream? Or both?
Both, sure.
Okay. And I looked it up, and it looks like they've been around since 2003. So that's 15 years. Why do they look so young? But yeah, this is really. I think they're continually doing good, and it's a really good album. So, like Michael, I say stream or buy or both. It's up to you. So I guess we're gonna close out this podcast. Michael got this, right?
Nope.
He always bailing on me, and he likes to laugh at me all the time. Shameful.
You're right. That's what I'm here for.
Shady, bruh. Shady. So you can contact us on Twitter at Echo U Podcast, where you can follow, and share our podcast as well. And then you can also find us on social media, any other social media, and apps at Echo Underground Podcast, where you can also share, and comment, and follow, or subscribe, depending on the app. And we'll see you next episode. Bye.
See ya.